The boat goes in the water tomorrow. We move it out of the building, grab it with the travel lift, and place it in the water. Obviously, before the travel lift pulls away, we want to make sure that there's no leaks in the boat, but I suspect that we're going to be pretty good on that front. At that point, we're going to be able to step the rigs. So we're going to put the rigs in the boat. Temporary stays for the moment, but most importantly is getting the weight in the boat so we can start figuring out exactly where the water line sits. Because without knowing exactly where the water line sits, there's a number of through holes that are in the top sides that would really be placed improperly if we guessed at it now.
They're going to fill the big barrels with water and put them on the deck so they know how much fuel weight is going to be here. It's going to be some of the bow for the chain weight, and then they'll empty those out. We'll strike a water line, and then there's a lot of through holes already in, but there's more to go.
We don't know where the boat's going to float exactly. You know, we've done a lot of changes, and you know, with different size tanks, and this new engine is lighter than the other one, but the generators might be this and add the gyro for sure. So we're not 100%. You know, the bow thruster all the way up forward there actually loses some displacement. You got a hole in the boat, so you lose a little buoyancy there.
There'll probably be some leaking. I'm expecting it back aft by the stern post and shaft log, and where all those, and a part of the keelson actually comes out of the boat there.
Because there's
there's a lot of joints back there, in large timber joints, so that's a leak, a potential leak point.
Right.
The rest of the boat, I'm not worried about at all, really. You know, there's checks in the stern post, and there's you know, it's just part of it. There's checks on the keelson on the inside, and I think everything's. But whatever has opened up will close back up when it goes in the water. So it's not an issue. It's a wooden boat. They're supposed to do that.
It's funny, you know, when we first started, you know, this project, and you know, we first started shooting, you know, we were looking at this same area. I mean, we were looking at the cross plank bottom and the you know, the traditional plank top sides with the end grain and the chine, and you know, how far we've come in that, and the changes that we made. Obviously, you know, we didn't know if we were going to remove the inner chine and the outer chine. They all went, along with a lot of the traditional planking, and obviously the entire bottom. So, you know, she's a different boat. She's the same boat, but she's a different boat. She's got a whole new lease on life.
So tomorrow morning we're putting the boat in. So that means the front of the building has to come apart, which, you know, the doors slide open, the window, big window lifts up, and then this big I-beam here gets unbolted. It's been a while. It's been a couple of years since we took it out. So, trying to remember, I'm just down here looking at it, trying to remember all the bolts and all the pieces and what's deteriorated in the last 2 years.
Coastal Queen's original launch date was roughly 23,819 days ago. Before she ascended to royalty and became a queen, she was a working girl, carrying goods up and down the Chesapeake Bay. After purchasing her, Slade Dale took the buyboat named A.G. Price to Ralph Wiley's shipyard, where he lived for 18 months working side by side Wiley's carpenters and shipwrights. Her life as a Chesapeake Bay buyboat had ended, and instead of carrying thousands of oysters to market, she now would carry passengers exploring the beauty of the inland waterway.
Good. Oh, that's loaded. We got a lot on those. Well, we're making sure that we're trying to just make everything even. So we don't want too much here. We really want to support the chine, but the keel as well. We want to be able to have equal amount of pressure, if we can, here and here to support the boat. Corey, you still good? Okay, that angle's good?
Hey, Jeff? Jeff? Hey. What's up?
Yeah. We may have to rip that header out, which is removable, but if you come back in, we'll have to grab that with the forklift quick and pull it down. Sorry. We brought it in on a different type of cradle, and we could get it a little bit lower. This is a new hydraulic trailer that they have, and that trailer is great. It saved a lot of labor setting the cradle back up under the boat, but it's sitting a little bit too high to get out the front of our building with just the front part of our door swung open. So we're gonna have to remove that as well. We built it all to be removable. See that piece of steel hanging out, right? Okay. I think she fits on that trailer pretty damn good. What's that? Can we sneak it out just a little bit more towards the chine? Just a little. Yeah, we can come down. Yeah, right. It's pretty good. I'm happier with that. We are just getting the strap set up under the Queen, just getting it placed kind of on our chine reinforcement areas and missing some blocking under there on the trailer and stuff like that. Just getting it set up to put a little bit of weight on the aft straps first. Are they spread pretty good? Corey, pull that front strap forward. Keep coming. This strap's point loaded so hard. Well, they're inside and they're saying there's no creaking, no nothing. They're pretty happy with it. I just called Jeff on the phone. He said it was really good inside, so that's good. That's what we want to hear. Yeah, we're just chatting and trying to hear or look and see if there's any deflection, anything we should be concerned about inside the boat. And said everything looks so far so good. Mac, you have some green tape up there? See where the straps are right now? I'd like to put little marks, little green tape on either side of each strap. So when the boat, this is like really good placement where they are right now, how they're splayed out and stuff. You know, we could take some measurements or put some little ticks in the rub rail like we talked about.
So we're in the water, finally. You know, after almost 3 years. Everything's going well so far. The move out of the building went well, the lift went well. Everything we had planned for the strengthening of the chine, it all worked out. So we didn't see any movement to the boat. She's floating well, she's floating relatively level as we had sort of planned. Obviously we don't have all the weight in it yet, so the main and the mizzen still have to be stepped. But we're gonna get those in and start to square the boat up, and then she's gonna swell up a lot. She's got a few leaks back aft in the stern post, which is sort of what we expected. We thought there was gonna be some stern leaks as well as some bow leaks. It's coming in fast and furious, but it's, you know, it's an old piece of lumber and it's not that unexpected. So, you know, might take some days, might take longer than that, but I think it'll seal up. And it's just a lot of components. You know, there's a lot of lumber, old and new, coming together in this huge section, then holes through it for the shaft and for the rudder. So it's a complex area that has all been out of the water for, you know, for over 2 years. Some of that lumber has never been in the water. I mean, this is a complex area made up of new and old lumber. So you look at the old lumber, it hasn't been in the water in over 2 years. And you look at the new lumber and it's never been in the water. So its moisture content, you know, we managed it best we could in the building from its, you know, from felling of the tree. But ultimately, I mean, everything sort of has to seek a level of moisture and find how much it's going to swell. And
You're basically clear. Keep side shifting so it kind of takes this mast away from the tent.
just about to step the mizzen rig in Coastal Queen, slide her back to the dock so the crane can reach a little easier. Rig up both rigs and, you know, get them in the boat. They're time for them to go in. They're part of the weight. That's a big thing for us right now, figuring out where the water line falls. But there's also a lot of rigging to do to them, and it's time for them to go in the boat.
Look away.
Look away. Look away. What's happening? He's gonna steal the $50.
Did you see the year?
1928. This is the G10 plate that Matt constructed so that we can, you know, ultimately it's going to act as the mast partner. We didn't want to put a bunch of load on the edge of the deck in this area, so we built a G10 plate, glassed the tube to it, and then ultimately the mast will be wedged up against this tube, and this plate will distribute that load throughout all the deck beams in this area. We've got a 1 pound note from Isle of Man. Yeah. The rig just set down. You know, we set it in the middle of the step. We've got some adjustment for the future because there's some blocks, and the step is larger than the butt of the mast is, and that allows us to adjust the angle in the future. But I think we're pretty good now. Obviously, we'll have to see when the boat levels out if the rake of the rig is appropriate or not. Put some temporary mast wedges in here right now, and put some temporary stays on, head stay, side stays, and the rig is in. I mean, it's great to see it floating in the water. You know, I mean, just from a morale standpoint for the rest of the crew. I mean, that's just, this is a day that everybody has worked really, really hard for. I mean, not too long ago, this boat didn't have a bottom. From that waterline down, didn't exist. So the idea that now it's in the water, it's floating on its own bottom, and it's doing what a wooden boat should do. And you know, there's things to be done, but this is a great, very big step in a line of many steps, but it's a big step.